All right, let's see. Check 1 2, check 1 2. Mic seems to be okay, but oh, there he is. There's the subtitles. The subtitles that doesn't always seem to want to work, but kind of does. Anyway, welcome everyone to today's stream. My name's Ruka. Happy Friday for anyone who it's Friday, and I guess if you are watching from the other side of the world, happy Saturday. I gotta work tomorrow still, but normally I guess on a Saturday I tend to stream a little bit later, but I didn't want to eat too late into the day, so we're doing it today instead. Well, we're doing it this time. We're doing it this time instead of whenever we would normally do mahjong, which is like 2 hours from now. But yeah, hey Bison, welcome. How's it going? How's it going? How's it going? But yeah, before we actually get to the cooking food screen, I gotta say it's been a while since we have actually done any food stuff on here. I think the last time was when we did the snack review. I don't remember if we did anything at the beginning of the year, but I guess it's time to do it again. Honestly, I just haven't had time to figure out what I wanted to do after the whole snack box thing. And the other thing is just like it's a pain to set up the table. I was actually right before stream, 30 minutes before stream, which is barely enough time to set up the table, especially if you haven't done it in a while. There's so many cords that you don't see when the camera goes up. There's so many cords and there's so many tripods and lights that have to go up and on the table that it's like, yeah, if I were to do this regularly, I think I would need like a separate room, like a separate room where it's just set up for that specifically, but I only have one room, so I gotta like put down the table, put up the table whenever I actually need to do something, because I also sleep here, and if I keep it up all the time, it's like this gigantic setup I have to like walk around, and it's not it's not uh it's not the easiest thing to work with, but yeah. So either, I mean, we're doing a food review this week. We're also probably gonna do another food review in a week or two. I'm not exactly sure when I'm gonna do it, but today we're focusing on Korea, and we're gonna go and check out some other stuff later when I have time, because this isn't all the food I brought, but it's quite a bit already, and I don't think I'm gonna be able to get through all of it. Just because calorie wise, I probably shouldn't be eating all of this stuff, but it's gonna be interesting. I feel like it's gonna be interesting. Anyway, hope everyone had a good week so far. If you haven't, well, food usually fixes that. Food usually fixes that. I'm also kind of reminded I was scroll was it Twitter? Yes, it was. Though I guess it's officially, quote unquote, it's officially X now. Not that I don't think anyone's really gonna stick with it, at least for people who know it as Twitter, it's still going to be Twitter. But yeah, I have a feeling because of the URL change. That's the reason why I can't really use it on my browser too well. I have that feeling. It's like I'm going on Twitter right now. If I do x.com, everything works, I think, perfectly fine. But as soon as I like type in twitter.com, it does not want to respond very well. It seems to like hang up a little bit as if it's trying to do a DDoS on itself. And I can't imagine why you want to do that, but they are doing it anyway. And I'm a little bit annoyed because of that. But it is what it is. It is what it is. It's like, seriously, Elon, do we have to rename this into X? Twitter was a pretty good name. I've checked out MRE Mountain before. I've gotten I remember getting the Swedish. We did a Swedish MRE at one point, and I remember getting it from MRE Mountain. The MRE we're doing today, though, I'll talk a little bit more about it um, when we actually change screens. The MRE we're doing today, though, is one I got while I was actually in Korea. However, um, I don't think it's an actual army military MRE, even though the packaging would suggest that it is part of an MRE set, but it's not really a full, it's not the full MRE with all the little bits and baubles that usually come with the MRE. But no, I've tried MRE Mountain before. Um, like, and I think I still have one thing from MRE Mountain that I got. Uh, that I've been putting off trying on stream because of things that are happening in the world, but maybe I should just go for it. I don't know. I do need to finish it eventually, maybe before the end of the year, uh, or before I decide to move at the end of the year. If I do move the end of the year, I don't know. But yeah, no, the thing is, there's a lot of European MREs on MRE Mountain, and a few are interesting, but most of the time I mean, we've tried the Spanish one. We tried also the French one. Though apparently there's a French Army Commando one, which is a little bit different from the one that I tried. But we tried French, we tried Swedish, we tried Spanish. The only ones so far that I know I've been avoiding are the American MREs. The American MREs are the ones that a lot of people try anyway, even though they know it's gonna suck. But I don't know if I should actually still try it. All that calories is for the poor guy who's been sweating for like 50 pounds of gear. Probably hasn't had a heated good meal all day. This is also true. If I was still traveling in Japan, the MREs would also make sense because I've been comparing my steps, okay? I've been comparing the amount of steps I've been taking during trips and during not trips, and the difference is staggering. Difference is staggering to a ridiculous degree. On average, okay, on average, you're supposed to have like at least 10,000 steps or something each day, and most people will not get that. If you do a manual labor job, if you work in the hospital, if you work anywhere that requires a lot of walking, then you'll probably get that whether or not you plan for it. But if you work a desk job or at least have a job where you don't move a whole lot, then you're not going to get that. And my job does not move a whole lot. So it's like I get on a trip between 12 to 18,000 plus steps each day. There's maybe a few days here and there that I get less than 10,000, but that's because I'm like traveling on a train or traveling by car or traveling by plane, one of those three. And I would get less than 10,000 in those days. But if I'm just out and about in the city or just exploring, it's at least 10,000, maybe upwards of 20,000. Regularly, though, here, when I'm at home, I get like an average of 3,000 steps each day. And that's not counting when I'm exercising. When I'm exercising, or at least when I decide to exercise, it doesn't go up that much more. I think it goes up by up to 6,000 at best. But at that point, I'm doing like a whole body workout, so maybe it's not too bad. But um, but 3,000 on average, which I don't know how many calories that burns, and I'm hoping for my basal metabolism to take the brunt of it. But it is what it is, and I just want to take a nap when I get home. I guess the upside is I don't eat a whole lot as soon as I get home, but my main meals are like lunch at work and another set of another meal, I guess, as soon as I get home, which is usually composed of several snacks that make up one meal, but it's not a proper meal typically. Yeah. Cold weather American MREs instead of normal American MREs. There's such a thing. I don't think I've seen cold weather MREs though. I see vintage USA ration cold weather. I don't know if that's the one you are talking about, but that's the one I see. But normally, all I see is the usual, you know, the thing that the brown packaging that doesn't look appetizing at all, and that's the MRE that everyone knows and possibly hates. And I guess also the commercial MRE, the commercial MRE that other people also see as the zombie MRE, which is basically just I feel like it's the same thing as the other MREs, just packaged differently. Though the one thing I did want to try though is not necessarily military MREs. The military MREs are the, I suppose, the more interesting one, because you would think military MREs are hard to get, and in a way they kind of are. They kind of are, and sometimes difficult, more difficult than they should be, or maybe probably they ought to be. But there's also apparently, well, I don't know if anyone calls them MREs, but there's a lot of hiking uh, food that is like flash frozen or prepackaged that basically is the same thing as what you would probably could get in MREs in other countries. Like the Swedish MRE is basically a bunch of packaged stuff that is actually really good. So if you really wanted to make your own MRE set, you could get the one of the better hiking MREs. Yeah, basically hiking MREs, and make a pack for yourself. Yeah, one of those things. I think we tried a maybe we tried one of them on stream, but they're all basically the same kind of thing, like pouch, water, heat up, and eat on the go, kind of thing. Which we kind of have sort of today too. Well, once we actually switch, which I should probably switch now. I should probably switch now. Let me let me switch over to the other screen so you can get a look at what we're working on with today. So, I will say in Korea, South Korea specifically, because that's where you can go. I think there is technically tourism going to North Korea. However, I would highly recommend against doing that for obvious reasons. I don't think I need to spell that out. Also, it's like it's I don't know. It's just kind of sketchy trying to do that. But if you really want to see North Korea, you don't really have to go into North Korea because there's a lot of rules and regulations that get people in trouble if you don't follow them to the T. And even if you do follow them to the T, they might still find reason to detain you for whatever reason. So yeah, I just don't recommend it. Well, whatsoever. But instead, into South Korea. Go into one of these DMZ tours, um, and do your and go through the DMZ instead. That is probably the better option. Now technically speaking, you can go into the DMZ yourself, and you will be more than likely fine. Um, but the thing is, I think it's easier to go through a tour company in South Korea to go into the DMZ because they take care of a lot of the the arrangements, the hassle of dealing with checkpoints and stuff like that. And if you did that by yourself, which you definitely could, I don't know, you would have a little bit more time to explore. But keep in mind, the DMZ is a military area. There are military um, facilities there, and there are strict rules of not interacting with the military facilities either through picture videos or actually physically being there. Otherwise, you could be arrested or be placed with a very, very hefty fine. Extremely hefty fine. So keep that in mind. Stick with a tour group. Do what the tour group says. And even though it might not feel like you're there for any reasonable amount of time, the amount of time you are there for is not terrible. Yeah. Also, it's kind of funny that the DMZ, despite it being a military area, a military controlled area, um, it itself is a tourist attraction. Like, can you think of any military any place where military is involved that it is a tourist attraction? I don't know. Maybe you can. I'm just not aware of it. And I didn't realize this until I went to the DMZ itself. That in the DMZ, there are three main places in the DMZ that you will go to that are very much catered to tourists, or at least tourists are allowed there. There's the Dora, I think it's called the Dora Observatory. The Dora Observatory is a place where you can where you can like go up on the roof, and there's a bunch of binoculars there. You don't have to put any money into it, unlike binoculars in any other part of the world. But there's binoculars over there that you can look through and actually see closer into North Korea. On a clear day, which the day I went was pretty clear, you can see North Korea with your naked eye. And let me see if I can find the picture really quick so you can see that again. Because I showed this in the other stream, but let me see, where is it? And I hope I don't do anything stupid by showing people that don't need to be shown. It's kind of funny, the day I went into the DMZ, there were also military personnel other than the military police from South Korea. There were military personnel there that were visiting from, I guess it was a mix of South Korea, Japan, and the US. Now, the US and South Korea have a very long history of supporting each other, especially in that area. However, I was also surprised to find that there were a few Japanese soldiers stationed there. Well, not maybe not stationed there, visiting, I should say. So that was a surprise to say the least. And if anyone missed the pictures of South Korea from the talk stream, here is not what South Korea is. That is Amazon. Let's see. Why is it not showing here? Not that one. Not that one. Maybe I need to like refresh or something. Hold up. Media source output image slide. So window capture. Do not make source visible yet. We have to check it to make sure it's good. This one. And let's crop this a little bit so you can see, so we can zoom in a little bit better maybe. But this is, you can kind of see on the horizon a city, and if we scroll a little bit more, that is North Korea over there on the horizon. You can this is above the Dora observatory, and you can see like buildings up out in the horizon. It's a clear day. It looks a little hazy, but it was actually a clear day. I don't think my camera just could get that far out. Um, and I think in the DMZ there's like one town in each side. So there's one town in North Korea and one town in South Korea. And and if you go look in the binoculars, if someone's out and about, you might be able to see someone out of these buildings. But that is North Korea right there in that picture. Um, and you are allowed to take pictures and stuff around here. But close to here, there's also South Korean military bases. Those you are not allowed to take pictures of, and that's where you get heavily fined. But as you can see, North Korea itself seems to be fairly mountainous. I can't say the same for South Korea, at least this on the South Korean side of the DMZ. There are some mountains, but I feel like there's more mountains and nature out there in North Korea. But then again, it is what it is, right? It is what it is. Um, and like I said, the DMZ itself is a tourist attraction despite it being a very real a working military area. Oh yeah, I can show this too. This is the this is the observatory, at least the top of the observatory, where a lot of people are looking out into North Korea and stuff. Um, a lot of these are tour groups, and as you can probably see in the picture, there are a few military personnel. That's the mixed tour group of U.S., Japanese, and South Korean people. Um, just I don't know why they were there, but they were visiting, and a lot of people were taking pictures with them. So that was interesting. I don't know. I don't know why people were deciding to take pictures with the soldiers, but I guess it's a rare thing anyway that they did so. I think the only people who were not allowed to be taken pictures of are the active duty MPs at those times. So yeah. I know those towns on the North Korean side are meant to be convince people to go to North Korea, but those towns are display only. I don't think it's meant to be like convince people in North Korea. I think it was the way it was explained to me by the tour guide was that there was an agreement between South Korea and North Korea to put one town in on each side in the DMZ. That's what was explained to me. It wasn't anything to like entice people to go there or anything like that. At least not the way they explained it. But it's still, like I said, it's still interesting that the places that I went to in the DMZ itself are basically tourist attractions, and there are tourist attractions in the DMZ itself. Like the Dora Observatory that I just showed you has has the deck, right? That has a viewing deck, and then below the viewing deck, they actually have a nice little cafe, a nice functioning working cafe, which I don't think I got anything from because there wasn't enough time. And also, I was eating so much throughout the day on little snacks and stuff that I didn't feel like eating too much. So there was that. Before the DMZ though, there was a pre DMZ area that I went to, where I think it's called Imjul Park or something like that. Imjul Park, if I'm not mistaken. I may have butchered the pronunciation, but the Imjul Park had this train, this train where apparently it got shot full of bullets and stuff, but it was a pretty cool train that they they apparently used back in the day. I don't know if it was to transport people or goods. A little hard to tell. But this was a working railroad track that went between North Korea and South Korea until at least I think 2016 or something like that. It was pretty recent. It was pretty recent. And basically those people went. Basically it was to like take people from North Korea. I think they had like agreement with South Korea to allow some North Korean people to work in South Korea in a certain factory for basically, they were employed there. I'm not sure what the factory made, to be honest, but yeah, there were regular visits from those people into South Korea, and that it was perfectly fine. So yes, quick recap of the trip. Yeah, we're doing a quick recap of the trip before we actually do the food stuff. It's also in I just kind of like to talk about it also, just to set up the what this is all about as far as the food that we're going to be trying today. But all this to say, yes, it is a tourist attraction plus actually military area. And in the I think in each one of the places that we went to, you could get some stuff, but it's not like Japan where they really have enticing things that you really want to get. Like in Japan, they don't have to try too hard to convince you to buy stuff because everything looks so good. Everything looks so good. Meanwhile, in Korea, it doesn't matter if it's a DMZ or not. Their gift shops are not that great, and also they, I don't know. Maybe it's the culture. Maybe it's something else. But if you visited Japan before or have seen pictures of gift shops and just the omiyage culture, the gift giving culture when you like where you buy something from one place and then give it to other people back home as I guess a souvenir for from the trip. There's a huge omiyage culture in Japan, which explains why they have so many different souvenirs from different places all over the country. Meanwhile, I'm not sure if it's such a thing in Korea. I feel like the omiyage culture in general is a Asian thing, at least to some degree, though very strong in Japan, but not so strong in Korea. I'm not entirely sure. And probably because of that, there's not so much emphasis of this is a thing you can get from this place. However, in the DMZ, I feel like this is the only place where you can get the the combat rations I do have over here. I say combat rations, but they're not exactly what you might think as far as MREs. If you've had American MREs, it might be similar to that, but if you've had any other MREs like the European MREs that we've tried on stream, it is nothing like that. This is a lot more simple, and I'll I'll go ahead to the table and show that. I'm gonna also noise gate is coming off, so everything's gonna be a little bit louder. Excuse me as the echo might be strong. Okay, I'm gonna move over to the table now. Let's see. And I don't think I can see chat as well, so I'm gonna struggle reading you guys because I cannot increase the text size on this chat, and the table is pretty darn far. Not let me tell you, it's kind of far. But I'm gonna try my best to read what you guys are saying. If this thing lets me. Just as a sound check, can you hear me? Can you hear me fine? Because I am now on the table far away from the desk and the mic is not in the greatest position, but it is in the position I remember it being when I used to do more hand cam stuff right here. You haven't seen this hand in a very long time, have you? You haven't seen these hands in a while. But yeah, just a quick sound check. How's the sound going? Is everything good as far as the sound? I know it's a little bit different. Grabbing some water too. Grabbing some water because I need that right now. But anyway, So there's a few things you can get in the DMZ. You can get T-shirts, keychains, whatnot. The keychains in the DMZ are actually pretty interesting. I didn't get any of them because I think if they went through customs in the U.S., it would set off alarms. Not necessarily because they're dangerous, but the keychains and stuff are like military themed, and by military themed I mean you get bullets, you have guns in the shape of keychains. I don't know how well that goes over with the TSA, so I didn't get any of them, even though some of them look pretty darn neat. So the best I got from the DMZ itself were a couple of rations, which apparently you can get these in eBay, and also this little box of ginseng. I don't know if you guys know, but ginseng is a very big product in South Korea. And this is one of the cheaper things of ginseng I could get because holy crap, ginseng is expensive. This tiny little box, okay? This tiny little box of ginseng is like 6 pieces of, I think, dried or candied ginseng. I'm not entirely sure. I forgot already, but there's not a whole lot in here. And the sticker is still on here, okay? The sticker is on here. It says 6,300 won. Now, if the won was still 1,000 to $1, that's about six bucks. I think it's closer to $4, but still, these things can go upwards of $200, okay? Depending on what you're getting. If you're getting like ginseng for tea or ginseng extract, that will go up very, very, very high as far as cost. There was a little bottle of ginseng, maybe about this big, and I think it was like some sort of ginseng extract where you can actually use that for tea or something like that, and that thing costs like about $90 for something that small. So, oh yeah, I guess I did get one more thing. I didn't get a T-shirt, but I got this. I got this pin. They sell this too. They also sell like military bags and stuff like that, but it's not like the most enticing stuff to get, to be honest. I guess if you're into military gear, the DMZ might have some good stuff for you, but at the same time, it's really not that interesting. To me, it wasn't that interesting anyway. But here today, the things from the DMZ that we will try food-wise is maybe at least one, maybe 2 MREs. Probably won't finish all this today, but whatever is left over is going to be my lunch tomorrow. As well as this ginseng, preserved ginseng, I think is what it is. If anyone can read this, please let me know specifically what I have in my hand. I know it's ginseng, I know it's maybe preserved, but I don't know if it's candy or whatever. 70 calories for the entire thing, which doesn't sound like a whole lot, and it probably isn't. But yeah, there's that. Also, one of my honey citron teas, I got 2 different I got 2 different honey teas. This is not from the DMZ. This is from the latte department store. At the very bottom, they have like a mini grocery area, and I got this as well as apparently there's a tangerine or some sort of orange honey tea. We're not trying the orange honey tea, but we are trying the citron one. And maybe just for comparison, they have this liquid tea, which I think is it could be like an artificial citron tea, or at least a very, very different, maybe like a less, like, you know, like a fake tea, maybe not liquid. Well, yeah, liquid tea. I guess it's kind of like we'll find out what it is specifically, but I think it's like what do you call this? It might be like it's not really, it's not this, it's not the full honey and the good stuff in here, except it's artificial. So we'll see how good or bad this is. And if we still have enough time, there's a few other snacks I have on here that I want to try, but we'll see where we're at. But I guess I'll just tease it really quick. There's a couple of cookies that I got. One is pineapple, probably not too interesting, but the other one is corn. Corn cookies. Corn is a huge thing in South Korea as well as Hokkaido. So we have some corn cookies, corn flavored cookies. I had a apple cookie of the same brand, and that was pretty good. So I'm kind of curious what the corn tastes like. If we get to there, and also one more thing. Apparently, this thing was very popular in a certain what do you call this? In a certain movie. This thing was very. Is Squid Game a movie, or is it actually a TV series or like a Netflix series? My impression was it was a movie, but anyway, Squid Game apparently had this, the dalgona. Yeah. I'm not exactly sure what dalgona is, but I looked it up a little bit, and I think this is like made out of honey? Question mark? It's basically like the Japanese also have a similar thing, where it's made out of sugar, but this one is made out of honey. Oh yeah, it's a TV series. Brown sugar. Okay. I know the Japanese have a similar thing, but I think theirs is actually caramel. But this is, I guess brown sugar is still caramel, but this is a little bit differently made. I don't know. Yeah, I'm not exactly sure. Someone please look up the Japanese version of this and let me know what it is made out of. Is it sugar, or is it something else? I thought this was made out of honey. I honestly thought this was made out of honey because when I was looking up dalgona on Google, I keep seeing honey, but I didn't see brown sugar. So I don't know. If we get to it, we'll get to it. I'm kind of curious if I'll be able to, cut this out, but that'll be at the very last thing we do. First things first, though, I need to make some tea. We gotta start off with some tea, and we're gonna start off with the good tea, and we're gonna compare it with the liquid tea. I need something to drink, so that's why. Now, there's a bunch of different kinds. There's a bunch of different brands of citron tea, honey tea in general, that you can find in Korea. I just got one that looked like I haven't tried before. Like, you can actually get some of this stuff in the US, straight from Korea. And if your Asian grocery store carries it, or anywhere else that carries it. I haven't tried this brand, and I've tried some brands. Some are a little bit better than others, but I haven't tried this brand. And I'm not sure if you can see this, but the honey here seems very fluid. I'm not sure if that's because there is some water mixed in, or is that's the juices in the honey making it very not so viscous. But it's there we go. You can kind of see that, right? You can kind of see how thick that is. It's not very thick. It's a lot more fluid than you probably would expect. Honey lemon, honey citron specifically. So citron is a specific type of lemon. I'm not exactly sure what's different, but if you know what yuzu is, then I think it might be related to yuzu. Which, by the way, you can also get honey yuzu in Japan, but they don't make jars of it like this, like they do in Korea. It's more like a separate thing, I suppose. But in Korea, they have huge jars of honey something, honey fruit, honey lemon, honey orange, which I have in the cupboard, but we're not gonna try today. But these are good just in general to drink either hot or cold. And in general, if you are sick or if you have a sore throat, these are nice to help your throat. So not only do they taste good, they're also medically good. So I can smell the citron right there. It's what I expect. It's what I expect to smell. But yeah, basically what you want to do is just like get maybe 1 tablespoon of this. I think they generally recommend 2 tablespoons, but we're only gonna do 1 tablespoon because we don't need too much. I think up to 3 tablespoons of this is, if depending on how strong you want, but one or 2 tablespoons is usually plenty, at least for me. And not too much water, but then again, I'm not sure if I put too much water in here. If I did put too much water, I'll probably just add a little bit more citron, or I don't know, maybe I just don't. But you can have this cold, you can have this hot, and we're doing it hot today. By the way, if you do have this on your sick days, always take it hot. And if you make it cold, make it hot first with a little bit of hot water, and then add cold water on top of it. And if you want to add ice to it, then you can add ice to it. It's just nice and refreshing in general. Okay, wait, there's a little salt there. Why is there a little salty there? Is that something else, or is that the actual tea? I think this tea might have a little bit of salt in it. Usually I don't taste any salt when I make these honey citron, but does this one have any salt? I don't think the label said. Wait, hold up. So this is a 580 gram jar of honey. They sell up to 1 kilogram of this in the store. 100 grams is 240 calories, so unlike other teas, this will put on weight. This will put weight on you. So be aware of that. I cannot read any of this, but I think there might be a little bit of salt here. Which one is the salt? I'm guessing this 56. I'm guessing this 56 over here is the carbs or sugar. But which one is the salt? I think it might be one of these first two over here. Either the 90 or the 60. I'm gonna bet on the 90, if it is salt at all. And I feel like I didn't put enough of the honey in there, so I do have another spoon I was gonna use for something else, but I might have to just use it for that. And I got honey on the table. I'm gonna do. You could eat this by itself. Would not recommend. Not that it's bad, but would not recommend because it's too good and you are probably gonna get fat from it. I will say though, if you want to use the honey citron or similar as a jam on bread, you would not be wrong to do so. I think you can do. This is very versatile. It's not only meant for tea. It's mainly meant for tea, but you don't have to use it only for tea, which is not the same as any other teas. 2 tablespoons. Use 2 tablespoons. 1 tablespoon, I could barely taste it. 2, perfect. It is sweet. It is a little bit lemony. And the best part is, you see, I don't think I showed it to you properly, but you can probably see it here. There's little pulps and there's little pieces of the lemon. in the tea itself, along with the rind, this is the good stuff. This is the good stuff in the tea. This is what makes it honey citron. If you don't have these little peels in there, you could still get honey citron, but it probably wouldn't be as good because these chunks here are what makes it actually good. And you can eat this stuff too. That's the best stuff. Oh, that's good stuff. Is it the best honey citron tea I've ever had? Probably not. Is it pretty affordable? Yes, it is. Yes, it is. According to Wikipedia, Takanuki, the dalgona candy from Japan, is made of wheat flour, starch, and sugar. English name is die-cut candy. How about the one in... what do you call us? How about the one in... what is actual dalgona made out of? Just so we have that information. Because I feel like they're made differently. I don't think they use all that other stuff in dalgona. I feel like it's simpler, but also because of that, it's a little bit harder to work with. Yeah, I don't think I've seen it in festivals in Japan. The ones I've been around, I haven't seen that. It's usually goldfish scooping, the shooting gallery, and a bunch of food stalls. But other than that, I don't think I've rarely, if ever, have seen that. So I'm very curious. Honey and chocolate combination? I don't think they do. Usually when they do this kind of thing, as far as Korea is concerned, it's honey and fruit, and it's usually a citrus fruit. A citrus fruit. So here we have honey citron. They also have honey orange, which they call, I think, halabong. Honey halabong. And within those also, they might add ginger or ginseng. I think ginger is the one they typically do because, you know, like I said, this is good for sick people too. I mean, it's nice to drink in general, but also this is also what you would drink when you're sick. So ginger makes sense. I think ginseng would be too expensive, but I wouldn't be surprised if they've done that. But honey and chocolate, no, it's not indulgent like that. It is more for your overall well-being. That's what this is for. Now I'm kind of curious, how do we make this liquid tea? Now the instructions on this one, oh, it does say. I cannot read Korean, but it does say over here, I think 3 to 4, maybe tablespoons, maybe teaspoons, but roughly 30 grams worth of this stuff with 120 ml of water. Now, last time I checked, whenever I make these things, 1 tablespoon, 1 heaping tablespoon is roughly about 20 grams. So you do 2 of that per 120 ml, so that's about half a cup. If you do 1 whole cup, maybe do 2 to 3 tablespoons, and that'll get you your citron tea, your honey citron tea. Now, this packaging was all in Korean. This one, we have Korean, but we also have, surprisingly, some English on here. Now keep in mind, this was sold in a Korean grocery store, and not in a, what do you call this? Not in a souvenir shop or anything. So to find English on the packaging is surprising, to say the least. But both of these can be made hot or cold. 100 cc's of water, a little bit less than half a cup, and 1 package of liquid into the cup. So I'm assuming this is not a bottle, there's some sticks in here. So let's open this up, let's check that out, and I think I might want to cut that open instead. Dalgona candy needs baking soda and sugar. Okay. So it's differently made. I wonder why. But they're essentially the same. Well, they're made differently, but they're kind of like the same idea. But I wonder why it's differently made. Though I will say though, cutting through pure sugar is harder than cutting through something that has flour in it. Though I think I feel like the one with flour will break easier. In the case of sugar, it's just harder to scratch. I don't know. All right. Okay, so this is what I thought it was. It came in these little sticks, and we have just four. Just four? So this is like a serving of four liquid teas. Okay. That's not what I expected. I didn't think it would be so few. I thought there'd be at least, I don't know, 8 of these, but apparently, this one stick takes like basically the entire package. Like, what the heck? Misong Citron Honey Tea. A pouch, 30 grams, is put in the cup. Put in warm water or cold water. 1 cup. Enjoy drinks. Let me read that again in case I confuse myself. A pouch, 30 grams, is put in the cup. It puts in a warm water or cold water of 1 cup. Enjoy drinks. Okay, I did not misread that. And apparently there is a little bit of English on here. South Koreans are not known for the English. That's more of a Japan thing. But this definitely is English on the packaging, and I am surprised to find it, considering for the most part I did not see that in South Korea, except for Fat Today. Fat Today is a coffee shop with a bakery in Lotte supermarket. So, diet sachet drinks. I have seen one of those. I can't say I've tried them, but I have seen them. Anyway, let's see. Okay. So it kind of looks like... basically very liquefied honey. Honestly, if I just showed you this to you on stream, it might look like just pee, right? Blah. I taste the raw stuff here on the in the packaging. It almost tastes like, not quite, but it almost tastes like one of those concentrated vitamin C liquid medicine things, except it's diluted. But it's almost the same flavor. So I can almost say that this is like artificially flavored. And honestly, if you wanted the real stuff, I would just suggest get the real stuff here. You get more servings out of this anyway. And if you wanted to get the same amount of servings, you have to get a bunch of these. So probably not recommended just in that. But also, if you do get this in... If you do get the real stuff in your luggage, one, make sure you can actually import it, because I think some countries are a little iffy about importing honey. And two, make sure to wrap this up very, very well. When I got this from Lotte, they put like a little, I guess, styrofoam sleeve around it that that kind of looks like it would have to go, like it would go on fruit, but I didn't trust that would be enough, so I wrapped it also in some clothes. Okay, I think this cup is roughly 100 ml, and I'm kind of curious how it compares and why anyone would buy this over the other thing. The real thing is very natural. It tastes nice and you can control the strength. Meanwhile, this you have to use the entire package and with a specific amount of water, so Ugh. Hold up. That is strong. That is artificially strong. It's like almost, it almost tastes like just lemon. It tastes like almost just lemon juice with no sweetness whatsoever. Maybe a little bit. Do not recommend at all. Too strong. Too strong. This is not something you would drink on a sick day or even a good day. I wouldn't recommend this on a good day. I think I need like twice the amount of water here to really dilute this and maybe feel good about drinking it, but nah. Get the real stuff. Get the real stuff. This is what you need to get. At least there's chunks of fruit in here that you can chew on, and that itself is pretty good. But this is just, it's not pure citric acid. At least I don't think it is. Does it say the ingredients? It does not say the ingredients. Well, it does say the ingredients, I just can't read them. That's a different thing. And in any case, I do not recommend. I did see the squished lemon meme. I don't understand where that came from, but I did see it. I did see it. Though I do like sour things, so I can't say I would get the same kind of reaction if I did that. I used to drink, okay? I used to drink vinegar straight up. Like, I took shots of vinegar and drank that straight up. Now, keep in mind, this is the Philippine vinegar. And Philippine vinegar tastes a little bit different compared to your regular white distilled vinegar or apple cider vinegar. I do like apple cider vinegar, and apple cider vinegar is pretty good to drink. But no, I would take like spiced vinegar. The Philippines has a spiced vinegar, and those are my favorite types of vinegar over there. And I would drink that in shots because you still don't want to drink too much of that, but that's pretty good. Oh yeah, the real stuff has a more mellow flavor. Definitely a little bit more mellow on the citrus as well as the honey. This one is just pure acid. Maybe not. Okay, maybe pure acid is a little bit too strong, but it's not good. I do not know why you would buy this, but I have made it, so I need to drink it all later. Anyway, so here, I think it's time to actually get into the rations. I've stalled long enough, but we have two different kinds of combat rations. They say combat rations, but I highly doubt that these are actually the actual combat rations that the South Korean army uses. But I think they're combat rations. But I also don't think they actually use them because they sell these in droves in the DMZ gift store. So I feel like these are only for tourists. But you can also find this on eBay even if you're not in South Korea. I think the markup on these on eBay is not terrible, so I think there are two different ones, one red, one green. The red packaging doesn't have very clear instructions as far as how much water to put in, but it looks like you have to take something out, put water in, let it sit for a little bit, but it doesn't say exactly how much. Meanwhile, this one says to take out the seasonings, put in about 150 ml of water, and then let it sit for about 10 minutes, which I should have done earlier. Is it 10 minutes or 10 seconds? I want to say 10 minutes. It has a 10 here, okay? It has a 10 here, but I don't know if that's 10 minutes or 10 seconds. But you can screenshot this these instructions and tell me what it actually says. I'm just going by context clues here. I cannot read it, but I'm going by context clues. 150 ml, that's pretty clear. Pretty clear from this diagram what to do, but I'm just not sure about this part. I don't think 10 seconds makes sense. So let's start with this first. I think we're gonna make both today. So let's start with this first. I think I'll make them both at the same time. If it does take 10 minutes, we need to make both at the same time. Yeah. So, so we have a little bit of sesame oil as well as the sauce for this, and inside is some dehydrated veggies, rice. I don't know if that's meat, and if that is meat, I somehow got that through security. Do not report me to the TSA, please. I don't know how I'm going to measure 150 ml, but it looks like they have a water line in here. So I'm gonna fill water up to that and let it sit for a bit, and then we're gonna pour it out in a bowl, because I don't know if this is gonna be very visible, but maybe we'll eat it straight from here. Who knows? Anyway, that's that one. Let me put some water. Yeah, you can if you see this on eBay, they do have these two exact ones. Though I think you can also get them. What do you call this? You can get them in packs of 3s. And now I have to set a timer for 10 minutes. Okay, 10 minutes. Where's my timer? Phone timer. Phone timer. 10 minutes. 10. There we go. One of those. What's one of those? I will say though, this is not the same level of MREs that we've had on this channel before. This is more like one of those camping MREs that I was talking about. Oh, this is different. Oh, okay. So the red one also has the same packet, same sauce thing here. I wouldn't be surprised if they're the exact same thing, but we're gonna set this one aside just to make sure. But in addition to rice, we have some instant ramen. So we have some instant noodles. We're getting noodles today. But for some reason we're mixing noodles and rice together. I don't understand. So I might have to get some chopsticks or something, because I don't know how I'm gonna eat the noodles. Yeah, speaking of noodles, if you've seen the loot pictures I have posted on Twitter, don't worry about it if you have not seen them. But I do have some ramen on there that we are gonna try in a week or two. So keep that in mind. I'm not gonna set a separate timer for this. We'll just let it sit a little bit after this one, but the packages are both hot right now. I am still very curious why you would want to mix noodles with rice. But we're gonna probably pour them both out into bowls to make it a little bit easier to see, and also maybe easier for us to eat. I will say this again. I do believe these MREs specifically are made for tourists, because I can't imagine the actual military having this in their kit, though I wouldn't doubt they have something like this in their kit, but it's not the full MRE, right? When I think MRE, I'm thinking like a main meal, a side, some other things in there, like you would expect from the European MREs, but this is just camping food. Honestly, this is just camping food. So I don't know what to make of this. Otherwise, I thought this is a Korean ration, not an Indonesian noodle and rice combo people eat to feel full. I mean, like I said, this is probably made for tourists only, but they sell it as a combat ration. I mean, it says in the packaging, combat ration. And even though I probably have gotten rid of it now, let me see if I have it anywhere else. Oh, it's over here. It's supposedly good for. It's supposedly in all branches of the Korean army here. So military, I should say, because there's army, there's navy, there's the air force. So it's supposedly served in all branches, but this is just a part of the meal, not the entire thing. So yeah, that's gonna be interesting. I wish I had more. Honestly, I wish I had more than this to try as far as MREs go, but you know, that's what they sold, and that's really all I got as far as that's concerned. But no, they don't really have. Okay, I guess there was some other food in the DMZ, but I wasn't really buying it. I think they had like some chocolates and some version of like sweet buns or something. But it's like, this is not what I expected here. This is definitely tourist level stuff, and at the same time, yes, these rations are basically tourist rations. That apparently those exist. And now that I think about it, actually, the MRE that I'm keeping in storage right now, for a future stream or maybe an actual emergency, is probably a civilian MRE, which is not military at all. So maybe I can just try it anyway when I get the chance. But it's like, yeah, I don't know what to make of it otherwise. I do feel like anything that's not an American MRE is better than an American MRE. Though I think the Spanish one and the French one were kind of okay if you were able to heat them up properly. But because of the heating element, it's very easy to burn those food in the can. So you have a little campfire thing that I shouldn't say campfire. It's more like a mini stove, I guess. You can call it a mini stove. I call it a mini stove. I think I still have pieces of those somewhere that you make, and then you have this little ignitable thing in the middle, and you light it up, and it makes a fire. Good fire, good. But what you're supposed to do is put the cans on top of those, right? To heat the food in the can. But because of how strong the fire is, maybe it's not that strong, but it feels pretty strong sometimes. Because of how strong that fire is, it can actually burn the food in the can, and I've done that a couple of times on stream, and it does not taste good if that happens. So it's like, what's the best way to heat up these cans? And the only way I can think of is to actually submerge said cans of food in hot boiling water. I feel like that's the best way to cook them, or at least the best way to heat them up, not directly on a fire. However, you don't really always have a lot of hot water you can just dunk a tin can in. Though if you did, that would be great. But you also, it takes a little while to heat it up that way. I think it would take like at least 15 to 30 minutes to heat the food up properly, and you may not have 15 to 30 minutes to heat that food up. Meanwhile, little fire, I think still takes about 5 to 10 minutes though. But even then, there's like a lot of splattering, there's a lot of burning. I don't exactly know how it's supposed to work, so whatever. So we've tried a few rations on stream. I think we tried the Swedish one, we tried the Spanish, we've tried the French one. I think those are the only ones I've actually tried. And out of those three, I like the Swedish one the best. I think I like the Swedish one the best because it's basically stuff you can find in a grocery store. That's what it is. It's stuff you can find at a grocery store, or maybe not, because I tried looking some of those items up online and could not find them. It seems like some of them were specially made just for the MRE package. And but it's like all pre-packaged stuff. It doesn't seem nasty, and everything was good. Everything was good. Swedish MRE, thumbs up. I think they call it the Swedish Sniper MRE, though I don't know if it makes a difference, to be honest. Holy crap, that's strong. Holy crap, that lemon tea is strong. But anyway, I don't think it makes that much of a difference. But look up Swedish MRE. You'll probably find something similar. Just know that if you do find any of these European MREs, they will cost you an arm and a leg. And I'm guessing it's also partly because you have to like import it and stuff like that. I don't know. They a lot of times when these are sold outside of the country, at least the outside of the U.S., and they will put like slips of paper saying that this is all good, all kosher and stuff like that for the customs people, but customs people may not buy that, so they might still open it up and pick and choose which ones will actually violate customs or whatnot. Like typically anything with pork or beef in it, customs will take away. Whoop, there's the alarm. Anything with pork and beef in it, customs will take away because you're not supposed to import those unless you have very strict things. And I don't know if MREs typically do that. So anyway, before we pour this out, so we made green first. Let's go ahead and put the packages for green here. And it looks like the water that we have put in mostly got absorbed into the rice. I don't see. There's still a little bit of liquid here, not a whole lot of liquid left. But definitely everything is rehydrated, and it looks like this is going to be stuff I will be eating tomorrow, at least the leftovers. And I'm assuming this orange pouch is gochujang. If it's gochujang, it is a very syrupy gochujang compared to what I'm usually seeing for gochujang, which is like a paste. Oh, that's gochujang, all right. It has a nice savory flavor and the heat kicks in, but it's not too spicy. Let's also add in the sesame oil if it wants to come out of the package. Sesame oil, gochujang mixed in with rice. I feel like the rice base is the same in both green and red. But let's see. Okay, so I'm a little short on spoons. I might have to use I might have to get another set of spoons in a bit. But I'm gonna mix this up. Like this. You know what would be cool? If we could try NASA MREs, if that's a thing. I think I tried looking up like space MREs, and the thing is you can't really get space MREs per se, you can get something similar. And I think the interesting space MREs from the reviews I read are actually pretty terrible. I would still probably try them regardless, but yeah, probably actually terrible, and would not even try. There's a lot of dehydrated stuff that's marketed as space food, but I don't know if I would trust those. So it's a little hard to actually get the real thing. Let's get this out of the pouch. I'm just getting this out of the pouch. Trying to scrape every little bit of here because this is an MRE. Food is precious. We must grab everything that we can possibly get from here. Every little grain of rice, every little piece of seaweed. Maybe not every little morsel, but I'm trying to. Gotta eat everything. Do not waste food. I think that's it. So that's one. That is one. So this is the green one. Now let's go ahead and get the other one. And this one only has gochujang. Smell-wise, there's really not much smell to these. Now that I mentioned that. But it looks like this one, the red one, with the ramen noodles, is basically the same base, except with noodles. So I'm kind of curious how that's going to be different. And since this is basically the same package, we have another set of gochujang here for the ramen set. Now, I think these are not too spicy, but depending on your spice level, this might be spicy enough or too spicy for you. So you can probably adjust the strength of how much gochujang you add by just kind of lick that by itself. I'm going to use the same spoon to mix it up because that's the only long spoon I have on hand. This one looks like it has a little bit more soup. Let me put this one aside. This one looks like it has a little bit more soup in here, probably because of the noodles. So usually with MREs, at least some most military MREs, they give you some utensils to use. However, sometimes that's not the case because the utensils are issued separately, from what I understand. In this case, I'm assuming if this is legit part of the food package they have, I'm assuming it's because the utensils are given separately. So anyway, let's pour this one out. A little bit more soup because of the noodles compared to the other one. We'll do a quick comparison as soon as I get this out. I don't think I'm going to be eating all of both of these. That just seems like a little bit too much food. They do say the calorie count on each one of these, and I think they're both about 350 calories each, which may not be enough if you're out in the field, but it will give you an enough boost to keep going for a little bit longer. How full will you get? We'll find out. NASA is eating pizza in space. Yeah, but I don't think you can get that specific pizza for the public. I'd be surprised if you could. If you could, let me know where I can get it. I want to try too. I'll try it next time if it's not gonna make me, I can't read it, suffer for hours, I think. Like I said, you can find this on eBay, but I don't know if it'll be available in your country, depending on where people are from. So, on this side, on the right side, is the green C-Rations, which is just rice and gochujang with sesame oil. On the left side, we have the same rice with the same filling, but it has noodles as well as a little bit more soup. You can see here there's a little bit more soup. Now, because they were in the package, you don't really need a spoon to drink the soup, but you do need a spoon to eat the rice. And I don't know how you would do the noodles unless you can use spoon on the noodles. I've done spoon on long noodles before, but you can probably also use chopsticks if you were so inclined. But I think spoon is the way to go here. But let's try this one first. Just the rice without anything else. So it looks like it might be little pieces of. It's either actual meat or dehydrated plant protein. I could not read the ingredients, so if anyone has those ingredients, let me know. But it looks like it's mostly seaweed, some other vegetable, carrots, some sort of protein. Gochujang, it was dehydrated rice, and there's not a whole lot of liquid here, though it is moist. So yeah. What's the ingredient list? Let me get the package so you can see it on screen, and so that for anyone who wants to translate it in the future, you can do that. So here is the ingredient list. I'm trying to not make it so glary. Let me get some air out of here. So this is the green package. The ingredient list should be on this side. I am gonna make it as clear for you guys as possible. Screenshot this right now and come back with a translation for me, please, because I think all this up here are the ingredients. Okay, that's the green one. The red one, I assume, is exactly the same thing because it's exactly the same type of meal minus the noodles. But here is the ingredient list up here for the red one. I'm trying to make it not very glary. Let me see, should I turn off this light? Let's try turning off one of the lights. Nope, that does not help. Okay, let's not do that. Anyway, so here is the ingredient list for the red one. And screenshot that. It should be mostly the same minus the ramen. And the green one had sesame oil. So both of them have basically the same base rice, the same base fillings, and the same base gochujang. The only difference between the two is the green one, which is the right one over here, has sesame oil and not as much water, and the left one has ramen noodles and a little bit more water, probably because of those ramen noodles. We have 2 MREs basically, but I don't think they're legit MREs. These are probably, from the packaging alone, it looks like tourist MREs. This is the stuff you can get from the DMZ. Just the two that I have on stream. And yeah, it very much looks like this is made for tourists, but they might have something similar. Again, you can get these on eBay. But I don't know if it'll be available in eBay in your country, so just FYI. FYI. Okay, let's go ahead and try this. I think it should be okay now. Sweet. Why is it sweet? I put gochujang in here. Why is it sweet? Vegetables are crunchy. Honestly, despite the amount of gochujang I put in here and the sesame oil, it doesn't taste that great. It's okay. It's okay. It's a little watery, but maybe I put too much water. But this definitely feels like, yeah, it's food. I don't know how else to describe it. Yeah, it's food. And this will get you going, but it's not anything you would find even in your home. I feel like only okay. Yeah, honestly, a lot of MREs are like that, except the European MREs. I think all the European MREs were pretty decent. at the end of the day. The Spanish one, the French one, and the Swedish one, which is all the other three that we tried actually. But this one is just okay, barely edible. A little too watery, might be my fault there. But with the amount of gochujang I put in, let me show you the gochujang package again. The gochujang package was not trivial, okay? Look at the size of the bowl, look at the size of the gochujang package. I didn't squeeze every last bit, but I don't think you need to. But at the same time, it's not a trivial amount. It's not a trivial amount. I used that entire thing. And it's just okay. Citric acid, green tea, flavored oil, sauce for jjampong. Here is the other one, which features even more carbs and a little bit more liquid. Same rice, same filling, except it also has noodles for whatever reason. I don't think I've ever seen this dish personally in Korea. I know they like their noodles, the instant noodles, but I would have never thought of mixing it with rice. It just looks like a mess. This looks like a mess, and I don't know how you're supposed to eat this with a spoon because this was in a pouch. You're supposed to eat this straight from the pouch, but I have it in a bowl here so you guys can see it easy. And I just feel like the amount of gochujang that we have here and the increased amount of water is not going to be enough. It's not going to make it good, but let's try. Oh wow. Wow. I'm surprised. I'm actually surprised. This is better. I don't know why, but this is better. It's a little bit saltier. That's probably also why. Meanwhile, this is very basic. I don't think we added any flavorings, any other flavorings except for that gochujang sauce. But this tastes better. I don't know if I would do the rice and the noodles together, but maybe adding the extra little water here made it more edible. I don't know. I am tempted to finish this one off today. This one I'll probably add something else for tomorrow, but this is not bad. The red one's not bad at all. It tastes like ramen. It just tastes like regular Shin ramen, maybe a little bit less spicy than regular Shin ramen, but it has more bulk because of rice. And I don't know why you would want to do that. I don't know why you would want to do that. We do it in PH2 pancit canton with rice. I've never done that. What mad person would ever put noodles and rice together? Why would you do that? I don't like the texture of those noodles. I know Korean had better ones to use in there. Yeah, I mean, Koreans like their instant noodles of different kinds. I've had actually bad instant noodles from there's one brand that I forget the name of, but it's really bad. Even there's no saving the seasoning for it at all. Ugh. It's bad. Ingredient list I put earlier is that's all the ingredients. Yeah, it should be mostly the same for both of these, except for this one has the noodles. So green is soybeans, wheat, pork, beef, and corn. Wow, how did I get that past customs? Because maybe I didn't know it had meat. Foreign products from Russia, Hungary, and Serbia. What? Dried green cabbage, dried cabbage, dried carrots, dried seaweed. Yep, I expected those. Peanut, buckwheat, mackerel, crab, shrimp, busa, chicken, squid. I'm guessing that's the seasoning. Bibim paste. Oh, it's not gochujang? It's just bibim paste. Grilled pork bone concentrate. Yeah, that sauce was actually pretty good. The sauce itself was actually pretty good. But I don't know, the rice. Let me try the rice again. I'll just try the rice again by itself. Yeah, it's sweet and not very good. This one though, very good. I don't know if I can get this again. It's not too terribly expensive if you get it straight from the DMZ, but you have to get it from the DMZ if you want the cheapest possible price. But it's if I ever do the DMZ tour again, I would get multiple of the red ones, 100%. The green ones, no. They can have that. I do not care for it whatsoever. It's just not good. It's just not good. Pork and bibimbap tends to be on the sweet side. Is it? Is bibimbap usually on the sweet side? I've had a couple of bibimbaps. Let me show you. Let me show you the bibimbap I got from the convenience store in Korea. If I can find that picture. Ah, here we go. Here we go. So this is the bibimbap I got from Korea. Well, gimbap. Wait, gimbap. Oh, that's different. Gimbap and bibimbap are different things. I keep on getting them confused. Gimbap is the sushi roll, right? But not the bibimbap. Not the bibimbap. What's bibimbap again? Bap is rice. I feel like bap is rice, but I don't know what bibim means. Stuff over rice? Stuff over rice? I guess that's what bibim means. Bibimbap is usually beef bowl vegetarian dish. Their version of Don, right? Right. I thought you actually brought it back. I was about to lose my mind. Wait, brought what back? No. Oh no, I didn't bring the. You mean you thought I brought the gimbap back with me? No. How could I? How could that would not survive? That would not survive luggage because one. It is very squishy, and that thing will destroy itself in my bag very, very easily. Two, that was from, when was that? That was from the beginning of the month, May 1. That was from the first of the month. And it is what now? It is 17th, 18th if you're coming from Asia. It would not survive 2 weeks. It barely survived 1 day. Okay, I tried that 1 day. Let me get the other picture of that. Let me get the other picture of that. I don't have it in this particular folder, so I gotta find it. Where is it? Not this one. The next one. This one. This one. Food pictures, you go here. Now, as far as actual good food from the convenience store, I haven't actually tried a whole lot, and I got my hopes up with the bibimbap stuff, but the gimbap looks like this. That's one of them. This is the tuna kimchi, and this is the tuna mayo. Apparently, they come pre-cut from this long packaging, right? They come pre-cut, but I feel like you have to eat them on the day of you get them because when I tried these the next day, they did not taste good at all. They taste a little bit off, as if they were stuck in a, I don't know. It's tasted like they were stuck in some sort of acetone bath or something. That's probably the worst way to describe them. But it takes it off. It tasted a little bit off, and I still ate them because I thought it was still okay, but it definitely tasted off. Would not recommend letting them sit for 1 day. Probably eat them right away just to see what it would probably taste like. Yeah, this was packaged. I will say though, you see this dangerous looking onigiri here with the samyang on there. Most people would probably avoid that, and it looks like this. Okay, it looks like that. This is actually pretty good. Actually good. It's not that spicy. Like it starts off sweet. It starts off sweet. This is basically a chicken. This is basically a chicken. What do you call this? A chicken onigiri with the samyang sauce throughout, but it starts off sweet, and there's a little bit of spice at the end, but it's not like too strong. The heat sneaks up on you, and it will probably fill your mouth a little bit, but it's not like super spicy like you would normally expect from samyang. This is fine. I would eat like 3 of these if I had the stomach for it. But these are good though. These are good. Same for sushi. Eat it on the same day you say or say hello to stomachache. Well, I've actually bought some onigiri one day and haven't eaten them until the next until the next 2 days at most, and they were still fine. But the gimbops did not seem like they wanted to stay overnight. So just FYI, if you're ever in Korea and get those from the convenience store, don't let it sit overnight. Just it probably doesn't last the same way as onigiris do. I don't know why. But no, I would recommend this particular onigiri from Korea any day. Now, if you have a particularly low spice tolerance, you might not feel the same way, but I still say give it a try because you might actually like it compared to the actual samyang noodles where everything is coated in the sauce and it will actually try to kill you even if you are tolerant of spicy. So yeah, as far as the rations go, very good, not so good. Would recommend this one again. However, we do have some other things from the DMZ we're gonna try, which is this one. And how much time? How much time have we gone? Okay, I think we have a few more minutes. Not few more minutes. I'm gonna try to make this not longer than 2 hours. So I might have to speed run this last portion of the stream a little bit. But here we have some ginseng, some preserved ginseng from the front. I think they call it the Freedom Unite. I don't the Freedom Town. I think that's what they call it in the DMZ on the Korean side. They have a quote unquote farmers market. It's more like a mini grocery store that sells a bunch of rice, 20-kilogram bags of rice, and a bunch of ginseng products, either extract ginseng, tea for ginseng tea, and what do you call this? This stuff, whatever this stuff is. But ginseng is very expensive, and we have like 6 pieces of whatever this is. And I've tried a little bit of some candied ginseng. I don't know what to make of it, to be honest. It might be the same as this. But for anyone who wants the ingredients, here you go. These are all the information that is on the back, screenshot, whatever. Apparently they have a link over here. I tried going to this link and I get something weird. So I don't know what to make of that. I might make of that. Anyway. But this is from the DMZ, and I was not expecting this packaging. Excuse me. We have a box. We have this thing. I know Japan likes to overpackage, and Korea is not, as far as I know, was not known to overpackage. But we have like a pouch in the box. Why? just sell the pouch. Just sell the pouch. How hard is that? How hard is that? I feel the actual thing in here though, so let's see. That is hard to open. Holy crap. Smell. The smell is very rooty. Rooty is the best way I can describe it, and it looks like it's basically section pieces of ginseng. We got a huge chunk here, we got small chunk here, and I guess this is, what is all this? Let me see. I don't think we have actual. Okay, one of the ginseng made it with its way into the rice. Do not. Maybe we're gonna eat this one. We're gonna eat this one. But it looks like several slices of preserved ginseng. I and apparently ginseng. I did not know this. They take like several years to process it before you actually get to consume it because I don't know. That's how long it takes. And I'm kind of thinking way back in history. How did anyone ever decide how long these things should ferment or dry out? Maybe someone forgot them. Honestly, I think someone forgot them and decided, hey, you know what? If we leave this, if this thing has been out for 3 or 6 years, is it still good? And I don't know. Let's try it. And I don't know why ever they thought they should try it, but they did. And apparently this is why we have 6 year things of ginseng. Chew 2 to 3 pieces at a time, depending on your preference. And we're gonna try one. We're gonna do one. Apparently, though, ginseng is good for your health. I don't know exactly what it does, but if you look at an actual actual picture of a ginseng plant, it may look like one of those things you see in fantasy series all the time, called a mandragora. And I don't know exactly what the the scientific name of a ginseng is, but I figure it has mandragora somewhere in the name because of what it looks like. And mandragora are very good for medicinal purposes, which ginseng is apparently also good for. So I don't know, there might be some relations there. But yeah. I don't know. I tried a little bit of this. I tried a little bit of this in a different form. The other thing I had was like very, very black. It's probably aged more. It's hard to describe the flavor of this thing. Chewing through this, not too bad. It's pretty soft. But the actual flavor is a little bit bitter. Definitely not strong like ginger. It's definitely got a little bit of bitterness, but also a little bit of sweetness to it. I don't think it's overly sugared. I don't think they do sugar it too much. It does taste a little bit medicine-y. So I don't know how much of this you would really want to use and for what purpose or for how long. I don't know my ginseng facts. I know a lot of people there are some people that don't really like ginseng because of that weird rooty flavor that this thing seems to have. And I would agree with them. I'm gonna down that with my artificial citron tea here. That is a bad combination. That is a bad combination. Oh, anyway. Ginseng is usually for antioxidants. Yeah, but how much do you actually have to consume of this to see any effects? Because I doubt that tiny little piece there that I had would be enough. I feel like I have to eat the entire package to have some sort of effect. And even then, how long would it last? Even then, how often do I have to consume ginseng to reap the benefits of ginseng? I assume ginseng is used for when you're sick. Like, just the same reason as you would use the honey citron tea for when you're sick to alleviate your symptoms. It won't, honey citron tea will not cure you, but it will at least make your coughs a little easier to bear, as well as your sore throat easier to bear. But this one, I don't know. Potassium problems. Okay. You treat it like tea. Okay. So one little piece every so often. Not the entire thing. Okay. I'm starting to understand now. That flavor is probably potassium. The concentrated potassium is making that flavor a little bit on the weird side. Yes. Alright. I get it. But still, how often do I have to take this? I mean, ginseng is basically edible medicine. nature's edible medicine, but how often do I have to take it, and when, and what, in what situations would I do this? I guess if I have a cold, I don't know. I'm not exactly sure. And I should probably put this away in the medicine cupboard until I actually need it. But I guess that's the reason why they preserve them for so long, so that what do you call this? So that you can keep it for a long time on the shelf, because it's not supposed to expire once you preserve it right. Yes, they seem to use refined honey but not refined sugar. Okay, so it's a natural sugar. Let's see. Ingredients: 6-year-old domestic ginseng, 60% refined honey, domestic fructose. Gimpo Paju Ginseng Agricultural Cooperative Ginseng Processing Plant. I think you can eat it every day at small amounts since it has other benefits like mood stuff and heart stuff. I see. I'll be honest, I don't know a whole lot about ginseng. I just know it's supposed to be good, but at the same time, anything they say about like weird root plants and medicinal herbs and stuff that's supposed to be good, I take with a grain of salt, because I don't know how effective it's supposed to be and how often you're supposed to take that stuff. But yeah, it looks like we have a few, like I think we got about 10 minutes left for today. So there's the two things I wanted to get to if we had enough time, where this corn cookies. I do have the pineapple cookies here, but I think we can skip the pineapple cookies. I don't think that's going to be too interesting. But we have corn cookie, and I'm going to try my best with this Dalgona that I have. So, corn cookie, if you've had like corn snacks, it's not like that. I'm thinking more like sweet corn puffs. There's a snack in the Philippines called sweet corn, and sweet corn puffs are one of those guilty pleasures that I have whenever I do have them, and it's great. But this is, I think, it doesn't say roasted corn on here, but I know in Hokkaido, this is Korea still, but in Hokkaido, roasted corn is a thing, and in Korea, corn in general is a thing, but I don't know if they roast them specifically. Yeah, I like sweet corn. I haven't had sweet corn in forever though. Oh wow! Speaking of sweet corn, so this cookie here smells pretty much like sweet corn in cookie form. I mean, all it is like cookie and a little bit of cream in the middle that seems to stick very, very well. But oh. If you like sweet corn, I think you'll like this one. It's just sweet corn in cookie form, and holy crap, is that good. Ah, that's good. It's not too sweet. It's just right. And I probably should have that with some tea, but maybe not citron tea, because this citron tea already has sugar in the form of honey. Have a cleaner tea than this, but all I have is citron tea, so citron tea it is. This is good. I don't know what brand this is. This is just a latte brand of cookies, which you can find at any supermarket, I feel like, in Korea. So there's a supermarket thing. Like I said, Korea doesn't have a whole souvenir obsession like Japan does. So if you want any souvenirs from Korea, go to the supermarket. I also suggest doing the same thing in Japan. But in Korea specifically, if you want food souvenirs, go to the supermarket. In Japan, also go to the supermarket, because what they have in the souvenir shops are specialty items. While they are good, probably just check the supermarket anyway, unless the specialty items are like really, really special, which some of them are. Some of them are eh. But this corn cookie, that's a favorite already. All right, Dalgona. Never tried one of these before. So we're gonna end the stream with this. And a little story about this Dalgona. I did not buy this thing. I did not buy this thing. So I did like a food tour. I guess it wasn't a food tour. It was supposed to be like a boat tour and a picnic around the Han River. And the Han River is this gigantic park that's apparently near a bunch of financial buildings and government buildings, and a lot of people just visit it because it's a big place that they can hang out in. And there was a tour there that you can do where you basically have a picnic at the Han River and go on a boat tour, checking out the night sights. And in the picnic, they introduced us to a few Korean games. One was basically Korean Ludo. Instead of dice, they have these sticks with marks on them. And the other one was, I forget what it is, but it's like this little bean bag on the ground that you have to flip over with another bean bag by smacking it on the floor. I don't have any pictures of that one specifically. I have pictures of the Korean Ludo, which let me show you really quick. Korean Ludo, where are you? Not on this side. Okay, where is it then? Korean Ludo is over here. It is... Oh, that was the next day, not this one. This one? This one. Is it showing on screen? Yes, it is. Okay. Korean Ludo is this thing. That's the board. These are the sticks. And you can see on the corner over here, you have two little tokens for each team. So we have Team Orange and Team Blue. And you start on one. Everyone starts on one corner, and the goal is to have all your pieces go through the starting point again. And you have these sticks over here. If it lands on an X, then it means that I think you don't go. I don't know. I forgot the rules already. But you have 4 sticks, some combination of 4 sticks, and you move around the board depending on the number of sticks. And if you land on the same spot as someone else, they get knocked back off to the start. So if you play Ludo or know how Ludo works, it's basically the same thing. I think the rules are over here. That's the rules over there. You can check that out later. Okay. Don't get eliminated. I'll try not to. I haven't watched Squid Game, but I know how it goes. And I do not have a thing to puncture this with. So, what do? What do we use? Can I use a toothpick, or do I have to use something harder than a toothpick? Oh, this thing is solid. This thing is absolutely solid. I don't know how I'm supposed to pierce that. Okay, we need to figure out how to do this. Needle or a toothpick? I don't think a toothpick's gonna work though. Toothpick might be not strong enough. Okay. I have a plan. It might be cheating, but I have a plan. I wonder if this is okay, because I use this also for packages. It should be fine, right? This should be fine? That works? Okay. Okay. I guess I do it directly on the... Let me see. Do we zoom? Let's zoom. Let's put this away. Let's put this away. Okay, let's give this a try. This seems a little thick though. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know if this is gonna work. I'll be honest. I don't know if this is gonna work. Yeah, I think that's a little bit too sticky. That's a little bit too sticky. I don't. Let's see. Let's try it this way. Dipping that blade in a little bit of the artificial citron tea. And maybe. Ooh, this might work. This might take a while. Is there a time limit for Dalgona, or do you just kind of go at it? Oh, this is working. I think this is working. But this is a very thick layer. You need to do a science experiment to eat to eat first. Well, we can try eating it if we break it through, but if I don't break it through, then I don't know. Do I die right away? How does it work? How does the death work for this one? Because I know in some of them there's bombs, but in other ones, how does it work? I've never, like I said, I've never seen Squid Game, so I don't know exactly. I honestly thought Squid Game was a movie. I didn't realize it was a series. In which case, K-drama makes sense. But if it's a movie, I don't think you can call it K-drama, right? Some of them lick it. I guess I should try licking it just to taste it first. Let me see. Let's see, how does it taste? This tastes like honey. This is made out of honey. This tastes like it's made out of honey. Wait, is it honey? No, a little bit of the citron tea made it in there, so it's a little hard to tell. Anyway, if anyone wants to decipher some ingredients, here you are. Here is the package with some very hard to read text on it. So there is that. Woo! I'm trying to clean my sticky fingers with the hot water, and it's apparently a little bit too hot. Actually, a good show, though. I don't know if making... I can't read this. Oh, season 2 is worth it, despite me also anticipating more from the series. I think a lot of people in Korea are expecting a season 2. If that says anything. At least a tour guide that I was with says there is a season 2 being made, but they're also making season 2 and season 3 at the same time. So there is going to be up to a season 3. I don't know if that's spoilers, but that's what I have been told by the tour guide. So yeah, expect more Squid Game, I guess. I don't know how I'm going to break through this. This is too thick. This is too thick. And I don't know how deep this thing is etched. And I feel like I'm going to have to replace this blade after I'm done with it. It's just that bad. Refined sugar with baking soda. Honeycomb toffee can... Oh my gosh, it's toffee. Oh, it's toffee. That explains the toughness of this thing. In that case, I don't think sharp is the way to go here. You want something blunt. Try stabbing. Isn't stabbing what's actually gonna crack the center? Isn't that what's gonna crack the center? Should I try stabbing? Should I try stabbing here? Okay, I'm gonna try stabbing. If anything happens, okay? If anything happens, I'm gonna blame you for this one. Trust. All right, trust. Oh, that's a good chunk right. Oh my gosh. You see how thick that is? You see how thick that is? It would have taken me forever to get through that. Oh no. That's too much sugar. Oh, that is brown sugar. Oh, that's too much sugar. I need some tea. That is too much sugar. Oh. Okay. Let's put some of this on the other side. How we doing so far? Is this good? We're not eliminated yet, are we? We made a breakthrough, literally. Oh. I think we're done for. I think we're done for. Well, bye-bye.